Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. So today we're going to give you a real review on the Redcat Generation 8 or Gen 8. I think there must be two versions of this thing floating around of the Gen 8 because on a couple of channels when I watched videos on it, they're like plastic gears and plastic geared servo, and it's like, really? I got like, Mod 1 metal gears in my tranny and, all this, and I got, actually comes with some extra metal gears to do some stuff to your tranny to, change overdrives and stuff. And of course it does have a 15 kilogram metal geared servo with it, so I don't know what they're talking about unless there's actually two versions of this, in which case I got the better version of the two. Yay! Anyway, so you can put a boatload of lights into this thing if you looked at any of the specs at all. 4 in the bumper in the front, 2 in the back bumper, 4 headlight bulbs, so 2 in each bulb in the front, 3 in each at the back. That's a lot of lighting, and we still haven't even gotten into a roof rack yet, for lights. So yeah, you can put a boatload of lighting in this sucker, so it's great. You can really make this thing look real. No body pin sticking through the body. I love that. Licensed Scout 2 harvester body. Licensed Indico Super Swampers, Interco, sorry, not Indico. These are the IROC Indico, Interco, sorry. It's hard to pronounce that. Super Swampers. These are not your run-of-the-mill ready-to-run tires. These are really good tires. And to buy them separately, ching, okay. Memory foams. I have no issues with memory foam tires. The warmer it is outside, the faster these are going to re-expand, okay? When it's cold outside, yeah, memory foam's going to get stiff, but who cares? You want stiffer tires in the winter anyhow, because you need your treads to dig in, not go, on you. So, hey, I'm all for it, whatever. We've talked about unboxing the extra parts that come with it, all that other jazz. So does this thing really have 47-degree steering? We're going to get to that. In the meanwhile, let's haul the body off this thing. Now, I didn't really put it on that well. Oh, look at that. We found my deadbolt. It's hiding somewhere. Yes, you can put a 124 scale truck this way, even with a 5200 milliamp 3-cell in the way. This thing will still sit in there just dandy great, and the body shell will close up completely and secure without any problems. And then this way, if your battery runs out or you get bored driving your big truck, lift the lid, pull out your little guy, have some fun with it, and continue your crawling fun. Alright, so let's get into this truck. 1/4 inch thick shock towers. Brrr. The bracing between them also keeps everything solid as a rock, not to mention the fact you've got 2 bolts here, 2 bolts down below. These shock towers are big, robust, and solid. Okay, even in here, this is solid. This is the same mount front and rear, so you can mount a fan here to keep your motor cool if you have engine cooling issue problems. You can put a fan there. You wouldn't put a fan back here, there's nothing to cool. But anyway, lots of space to mount something back there. Give me some ideas. Okay, so all the electronics on this thing are absolutely waterproof. Okay, so you can go submerge this thing and have a ball. The receiver box as well. You've got 2 other ports here, so you can get some little short adapters, which I have some, and you can add in 2 more ports here for other accessories off of your receiver. Yes, and I'm going to do that to my truck and my wife's. We both have the same truck, just hers is blue, mine's red, or orange, sorry. Hexfly Servo and Hexfly ESC, these are apparently rebranded Hobby Wing from what some people are saying on their channels. Okay, whatever, I don't care. The stuff works, that's all that counts, right? 550 size motor, 17 turn. You'd think 17 would be pretty quick. 21 starts to slow down depending on the gearing. But, for 17 turn motor, this thing is not an out of control beast. Like my TRX, I had to dump a, 35? I think it was a 35 or a 45 I slammed in it. 35. Yeah, 35. And now it's just running great. Anyhow, so I probably won't change this motor for a long time, but I'm going to order a spare motor for it, but it'll probably be a 35 or 45 turn because I want a bit more torque, a little bit less top end speed. I'm not all about the speed freak stuff, right? So not when it comes to these trucks anyhow. I want power is what I want, and enough wheel speed to get out of what I need to. The chassis on this thing is like a 1/2 inch C-channel chassis. It is extremely robust, very thick metal on top of that, so it's like, you know, it's like, wow, like, okay. So we cannot fit TRX or SCX10 bumper mounts and bumpers on this sucker, which kind of sucks, but, you know, we'll wait until somebody comes out with some metal upgrades, and we'll just upgrade it with that stuff and see what we pick that's nice, that looks cool, and hopefully has a winch mount already. I could probably mod a winch on here. I might yet, you know, while I'm waiting for somebody to make some cool parts. Shocks have no preload on them. One shock for sure definitely has a lot of air in it, or very little fluid. But when I ran the basically the maiden voyage on the rocks, first time rock crawling this thing, I ran the truck completely 100% stock, and I ran it on a 3-cell battery, because 3-cell is going to be, of course, more speed, more power, right? 2-cell slows you down, still plenty of power. My wife runs a 2-cell, and it's still a very competitive truck and does not struggle at all. So that's great. Anyhow, so moving along, we have all this fender well stuff, body panels in here. We got fender wells in here as well on the body, so that it double seals everything, and really helps a lot, actually. Fender flares, of course. You get all the little adapter clips and screws to actually mount your LEDs and all this stuff, which is great. This bracket back here, if you're going to, there's a bracket in here that holds your spare tire on. You got to drill a hole through the body and then insert that thing and put a screw in there and lock it in place. Then you can mount your spare tire on the back if you want. I'm not mounting mine on the back, and it's not because of a weight thing, because I'm not worried about that, because you can compensate with spring preload, or, you know, raise the ass end up with a shock tower, whatever you want to do, right? I would prefer to have my tire, if anywhere, on a cage that has a tire mount system on it. And I'm still going to have to add some preload, but I don't want it hanging off the back. Not on this truck anyways. So, anyhow, does this thing actually have 47 degrees steering? Yes. Okay, and anybody who says different, well, you can tell them that they're lying, because it actually does. So, how the measurement works, this is a digital level. I know you're not going to be able to see this part, but do it yourself, you'll see. So you got to get your truck to sit at as close as you can get it to 0 degrees. Okay. Come on. Within half degree, that's good enough. So we put it on here. The wheels are fully steered. 47.7 degrees. That's how the factory measures it on this angle. If you were to measure it on this angle, okay, you're going to get somewhere around, if it ever settles out, about 32 degrees, 33 degrees rounded off. Okay, it's about 33 degrees this way. But the way they do it at the factory is based in this direction. It is 47 degrees. Alright, and that's unloaded weight. You load the weight up there, you're more closer to about 49 degrees. Now loaded weight is when it's on the ground, it's under power, things are being stressed. So yeah, it pushes the tire a little bit more. Okay? Now, steering servo stuff. Bump steer, don't worry about it. Even professional crawler channels that have this truck will tell you, do not worry about the bump steer. Don't waste your time modding that crap. It ain't going to make it any better. You're not going to get through a course any quicker. You're not going to worry about hang-ups or whatever bump steer would cause. You're not going to have that problem. Okay, so you don't need to mess with that. But the other thing is there's another channel out there saying if you add better radio equipment, you'll get more of the endpoints out of your servo, so you'll get more servo throw. Because if you look at your servo and how it twists left to right, one way or another, a vehicle, even in real life, actually does turn a little bit more one direction than the other. It has to work that way. That's the physics behind all this stuff, especially when you're setting up an alignment on a vehicle. It's the way it actually works, so that they can properly align it for not only the vehicle itself, but also for tire wear considerations, and the crown on the road in order for it to stay straight and so on. adjustments have to be made to compensate for that, so you will automatically, even on these things, even though they're not real vehicles, they're built based on it, you're going to steer a little bit more one direction than the other, okay, and that's just normal, okay. If you want to get more steering out of this thing, okay, so get more closer to your rod, is what we're talking about here, then what you would actually have to do is not switch to better quality equipment, apparently. What you would have to do is actually adjust your tie rod to make your tires point out more. Now my tires out of the box were cocked way out, so I actually had to turn my tie rod end in, which is that little plastic black thing. I had to turn it so that it came all the way into the back of the nut. That nut is not going to screw in any deeper on mine or my wife's, so I suspect they're all going to be about the same. You're going to have this little gap of space that should be usable, but it's not. But if you do have it, and it is, all the better. But turn in your outer tie rod end here, because that's your adjuster one, and get your wheels to go as perfectly straight and even with your back end as possible, okay? And you're not going to get it 100%. Nothing ever is in life, so get it as close as you bloody well can, because having them point out too far is actually bad. Now, as far as using better equipment to get more endpoint control, yes, you can use other radios. This one channel that talked about this says you can get actually more steering out of it. I don't believe them. And I watched his video long enough to know and see that there's things going on in that video that I don't trust. And of course, going to a Traxxas radio, yeah, you can program more endpoints, I believe it is, in some of the TQIs, maybe even the TQs. I'm not completely 100% on that. But I know we're going to be ordering some new radios probably tonight, 3 channelers for a reason. We're going to be upgrading the radios to these, not for more steering, but for something else we have in mind on our trucks to surprise you guys with within the next month. So do stay tuned and in suspense. But anyway, here's the deal. Yes, you have more steering out of this servo. Every steering servo, normal steering servo for steering purposes in a vehicle, RC vehicle, are 90 degrees. That's 45 in each direction. Okay, so anything extra is made up by different settings for your alignment and so on, right? So if you look at the position here and you look at the position over here, and you see there's a slight difference, and you will. Now the thing is if you program to go with more throw, which there is throw left over, what happens is you do this, okay? So that didn't add any extra steering, that actually added to make it twist. Alright, and if you go too far with that twist, and you get into any kind of situation that could stall you out or lock you up, you're not going to steer out of that very easily, okay? It's going to cause you problems. So if you're competition crawling with this truck, you're going to definitely be losing, okay? Now you go the other way, and it actually doesn't affect it as bad, okay? But you could still put it to a point where it'll pin and lock, and you can actually overheat the servo doing this too, because you're overstressing the servo, and you could cook your servo. So now we go all the way the other way. Let's bring it all the way over. So you see how that pulls, and that's not going to release too easily, right? And you definitely are not manually releasing it. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can overdrive the servo, period, and just snap stuff, okay, without even being back on the ground yet. So you got to be very careful if you're going to try doing something ridiculously stupid that has no effect, because it has no effect over your steering. Alright, this is the end of your steering range, period, okay? The only extra little bit that you're going to get is when your truck is on the ground and your tires are turning. Okay, they're going to fold in naturally a bit, and they could actually rub into the links. That possibility does exist. Okay, so we can see if we're twisting this, right? Now, if you put in any oversteer to this, that it causes a lock up and you adjust your alignment outward more, plus you put the endpoints further, not only are you going to start chattering into your link bars, okay, but you could bind up your yokes in here, okay, and snap them. So if you want to be stupid and do stupid stuff, it's your truck, it's your money. I don't really care. I'm just trying to help you to not make these mistakes and mess with stuff that you really shouldn't be, because there's no need for it. Now, this hump thing here, okay, of the divorced transmission, okay, what a name for a tranny, divorced transmission. I either were divorced, I think about marriage, you know, divorced. But you got this hump here. Comp crawler channels that I've watched that have this truck say don't mess with this. You don't need to. It doesn't affect anything. I mean, this thing's got portal axles. You don't have to worry. It's got these skids that sit down high enough that it's fine. You know, if you're going to get hung up on a rock, it's because you got hung up on a rock because you picked the wrong line to go across with it. Plain and simple, you know. I do like the 4-link back, 3-link front panhard system's great. I love the aluminum diff covers already there. It's like, wow. I'm surprised they didn't do more. So you definitely are getting more than your money's worth out of this truck, you know. Now, you got multiple mounting points for your shocks as well. So here's what I'm going to tell you. In my opinion, after driving this truck, if I'm going to compare it to a stock TRX, even mine, forget the fact I have dual tranny speeds, because whenever I go crawling with my TRX, I have the diffs locked and I have the transmission in low gear. Okay, that's the way it goes when I'm crawling. So based on those setups, and the truck's being stock, okay, this Redcat whoops my TRX4 Tactical, okay. Right now, it would probably be pretty close to my TRX probably whooping it, especially if I put the Super Swampers on my TRX4. It would probably whip this thing by now because of all the mods I've got done and etc. But out of the box, stock, yeah, this thing kind of whoops the TRX. Even the TRX Sport is no match for this vehicle, in my opinion. And you're paying $50 more for the TRX4 Sport. Okay, we will talk more in depth and detail about that though in another video, because I was requested to do a comparison video between the TRX4, this truck, and the HSP Boxer all in one video. So we're going to do that and cover all those grounds, and we're going to talk about what you're really getting or not getting for your money and do comparisons and so on, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, I would say go if you want a truck like this, you want, you know, orange or blue. They have 2 color choices. Redcat is coming out with a clear body shell, by the way. I've checked it out on their website. It's not released yet. It will be a licensed, of course, body of the same body, but clear, so you can paint it yourself, right? And I'm probably going to get one and maybe get an interior down the road for it and so on. You know, we'll see. I've got ideas in my brain, you know, but I've got other trucks yet to still finish modifying to get them more worthy to my specifications. But in the meantime, yes, it's an awesome truck. The receiver hitch, by the way, is kind of like authentic, like a real thing. You got to pull the pin, pull the side pin, pull that out, put in your hitch, push the pin back in, put the locking pin in, just like a real one. It's kind of cool. Of course, these are plastic D-hooks, or whatever you want to call them, toe links. Swap them to metal. I'm going to. I like metal. Yeah, it is a great truck. I love this truck. Folding mirrors is great too. They come in real handy if you have rollovers, so at least you're not going to bust your mirrors off. They do kind of go into the body sides go into here pretty good. Getting the body on and off is not a big, huge deal. Okay, it does take a little bit of, you know, you get used to where it goes and which end first, and you line it up, and it's fine. And the body is not going to roll off this thing. I've had some pretty good rolls with it already with my first run on the rocks and stuff, and it never fell off. No issues there, so that's fine. And the radio gear is fine, but like I said, we are both going to 3-channel radio gear. We have a reason for it, which you guys are going to have to wait in suspense for, but there you go. In the meantime, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'll do the best I can to answer them. I'm still learning a few things about this truck myself, But from what I have learned so far, from watching a boatload of videos and listening to other people's opinions, and of course my own experience with this truck, in my opinions, this is what I've come up with, you guys, for information. I mean, even the bead locks are nice touch. I mean, that's great. So you don't have to stick with Super Swampers if you don't want to. You can just take them off these rims, slap on another set of tires, especially if you like the rims. If you want different rims, like I want another set of rims that are different, then yeah, change your rims out. It's no big deal, right? Put on a Widener kit, and then you'll avoid having that tie rod end on either side ripping your tires apart, because that is a big thing that I think is actually something that's valid to crab about, is the tie rod ends are way too close to those tires, right? And that is going to cause problems down the road, okay? So, and 8mm Widener kit is all you need. It gets you that extra 3mm out distance, which also will open you up to a wider range of alloy bead locks too, that you might get a set that's got a bigger, fatter dish, so less space. If you're away from it, away from the portal axle, that's all the better, and you only need that 3 mils and you are golden. So 8mm Widener kit all the way around, and that'll definitely solve your future requirements for wheels. It's also going to solve the rubber being able to get anywhere near those tie rod ends to cause any wear issues or whatever. So that's your pluses there. But anyway, I probably missed a few things myself, so you know, that's why I say ask. I'll do what I can to answer it. I don't want to keep you guys here forever. Long enough video as it is, but I do appreciate those who have hung out for the entire review on this. Great truck. Go buy one. You know, they're awesome. My buddy Jordan got a chance to drive this, and he was sold on it. He has to have one now. You know, it's kind of like the deadbolts. You know, we have, my wife and I have each one of these things. She's got the red one. I got the green. Jordan and his wife, he's got green. She's got red. And it's kind of like fun. So the next time we're out together, I think we'll just have all 4 of the deadbolts going. And I'm going to have to put my channel sticker on mine so that we know whose is whose, between mine and Jordan's anyway. My wife will have to do the same with hers. Separate hers from Jordan's wife's truck. But it's fun. You know, they're great. And I like the fact you can carry your deadbolt inside this thing too. That's really sick. You know, really sick. So, there you go. I'm out of here. And we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.